Bam! Going live tonight. Welcome to the stream tonight, everybody. Pro Se Lawsuit Center. So we're going to talk about a few things in tonight's stream. Mainly, the main thing we're going to talk about is, well, what you guys saw at the top of the thing there, the game plan for when you get locked out. One of my friends got locked out today, and I feel bad for her. So in this package that we're going to talk about, and she's one of my friends' friends too, so she has friends. So in the package we're going to talk about tonight, it's the package that we use for Henry, and it's the RICO foreclosure eviction defense lawsuit package. Now, I just figured out one thing tonight that I don't have in that package. And right now, I only have I have one thing in that package that I want to add to it, and that is the reentry, the demand for reentry. And we haven't had, well, we did have Dwayne get in trouble too, but haven't heard from him yet. So, but we're going to have a few, because sometimes the way all these people are on they're on some scam stuff really bad. And it's really hard to keep up. It's really hard to keep up with them. Oh, I was turned off. Okay, we'll go over that again. So what you get in here is you get your verified. You get verified counterclaim for illegal eviction, and you don't have to wait till you're out the door. If you think they're going to start it, you already can figure out who you need to have on it. And then you get a complaint for the illegal eviction for federal court. Now, the counterclaims for federal court also, and this is how we crush them. And then demand to dismiss for defective pleadings, temporary restraining order, and injunction to quit. And then you get the judicial notice of fraudulent conveyance and a judicial notice of less pendants, and also threw bar card in there. So we just went over it. So the constitutional emergency statement is supposed to move your case up to the higher court, and the higher court is supposed to strip away the administrative BS that you've been dealing with on the lower court and only rule on the constitutional issues that you're claiming at hand. And fraudulent conveyance, fraudulent conveyance, fraudulent concealment, those toll a statute of limitations. And that's why these products can be used at any time. And when you bring in the RICO, when you bring your notice of preservation of evidence, then that's your notification to them that you're going to seize the property. You can do that under RICO. The immediate federal correction is required to preserve the constitutional integrity. So if you've been locked out, then you need to, get your counterclaim. Now, what I would do is I would file the eviction lawsuit, the one that is structured for federal court, because you got a lawsuit and a counterclaim. Okay, I would file the eviction lawsuit in state court because you don't have time to do that. It takes a long time to file it over there. Then you got to wait. I would file it in the state court first, and I would get a file stamp copy of it. And then I would file the counterclaim in the eviction court, the fake court that just ignores you. But I would add the players to it or whatever. And then I would attach a judicial notice of the lawsuit filed in state court to put the two state courts away, the one fake state court against the other fake. State court. That's how I would, because we used to have to file a lawsuit in state court and then file it in federal court as well. Okay, but now we're bringing the RICO stuff and a lot more power to the table. But if you've been jacked already, then you're going to have to do that. I would suggest filing in state court first. At the end of all of this, you'll be using the state court a certified copy. And I asked this because they, in Kansas, they'll give you a certified copy. But in that place where I was working with somebody, I didn't know where it was. They wouldn't give you a certified copy. So, but they gave you a copy. Oh, it was Henry. They didn't give him a certified copy. Well, that's because they're lying on everything. They can't certify it. Okay, that's my opinion, YouTube. Okay, based off of the real-time feedback. Yeah, and then you would have to go through the same process of getting everybody suing these people and getting everybody served. But what we found, if you cloud your own title, that gives you a little more and some a little peace of mind because their ass ain't over there making and they ain't making no ching chang off of it yet, and then nobody else is going to want to invest in it once people see that. Now you want to make sure that you cloud the title in both places. Anyway, by making that notice, judicial notice of fraudulent conveyance into a style to file in a case, you're actually putting them on notice and getting it in the case if you have a case. If you don't have a case, then you want to get it over there. If you have a case, you want to get it in both places. Okay, that's the way I would roll with that. I would want to get it in both places so that anybody that's thinking about coming along and getting in on this can see that it's a little stinky. And then over here in court, you can have it over there too to let them know, because that'd be, I don't know, I would think that would be a deterrent to to have it right in the court record right there that there's some crap going on, and most people don't think about how to do that like that. But that's what I would do. So you want to go ahead and get your lawsuit filed in state court, and then I would file a counterclaim in the eviction process, and then I would I would do a judicial notice and put a file stamp copy of what you filed in state court in that court. You see what we're doing here, huh? Somebody got to do something. Okay, in the worst case, somebody got to have some meetings to figure something out. I don't know. That's kind of I think that's I mean, and the other people say, oh, okay, so what are your options? Just do nothing. So I don't know. Hi, Natty. Welcome to the show. Kind of sad show tonight because people getting jacked, but we're keeping it real and we're making a difference somewhere for some people. Well, I know Henry's still in his house, and Nikki, she's stepping up to the plate, and I don't know how they're going to get around what we're doing now. And we got Dr. C stepping up to the plate, so my British friends. But one of the things too, for me, I've been doing this for a while, and sometimes when I'm helping people who have been doing it too for a while, but not quite as long as me, or maybe they have, but in a different setting or whatever. It gets frustrating for me sometimes when we sit down and go over a game plan, and then sometimes people have a hard time in getting their head out of that conventional stuff for the state. Everything on the state level is total BS. They're coming at you with statutes and codes, they're non-valid laws or whatever. And as long as you stay in that and you keep addressing those things, they're not going to believe that you believe this other stuff over here that you may be doing or someone may be doing for you or whatever, because they're going to believe that you still believe all of the crud that you believe before you start learning from Pro Se Lawsuit Center and winningcourtnow.com and stuff. So, and it gets frustrating because people think that they're going to convince the judge to give. Oh, people think that the shit is fair. Okay, here's one. Where I'm just heading down this hole. People think they have rights, and you don't. You have the right to shut the hell up and go sit down, unless you're willing to do whatever it takes to stand up for. I mean, whatever it takes. whatever it takes. You don't have no rights. What happens with most people is that we get grumpy, we start talking shit, we get in a bad mood or whatever. That's what they want you to do. That's why they trained you to think that you have rights. Because when you're thinking like that, you're thinking about the what they did. What they did to me. What? No, that's not how we roll. We go after why. Why they were able to do what they did. Okay, because you can go after the what all day long. And when you're done, the arguing starts. And then when the arguing's done, their buddy just gets to help them and throw your shit out. I mean, I don't know, I'm not that smart, but I think, you know. Okay, so you go after the what, the check down, the this, you know. Okay, how about the why? Why are they able to violate you? Because they have you in their administrative court. They got you there using statutes and codes that aren't valid laws. And most people are still waiting to convince the judge that these rules and shit over here are the clock is ticking. And sometimes it runs out for people. I'm sad. But you know, the fight ain't over until you sit down and give up. That's where I'm at. The fight ain't over until you sit down and give up. So I got to get off here and send some emails out and piss off some more people. Thank you guys for the value of sharing your time. And I'm going to go do just what I said.